All right, we can all hear each other. Blah, 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 blah. He's having a tantric orgasm right now. Welcome. That's the intro. All right.
It's crazy how you don't see anything at all. Like, it doesn't register.
It's a blip. It's a fucking blip.
But it's there.
It is there.
Hello.
Yeah.
Steve, say something like for an extended period of time.
What? Oh, hello. Yes, hello. I'm eating baklava treats of some sort.
Nice.
That's dope, Steve. You have notes over there?
Got notes.
Right? I noticed it too. I
Dude, not only does he have notes, but they're highlighted.
Yeah. Fuck
Oh!
You rascallion, you!
Yeah, shut up.
And he has Beats headphones on.
All right, let's hear it. Welcome once again to another edition of the Mystery Children Podcast.
Number 20, this is Trey.
I'm P.
Steve.
What's up, y'all?
Hey, it's our anniversary.
Where's the fucking flowers, y'all?
Bought your bracelet.
Steve doesn't have flowers, but he made us baklava.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
I kind of regret not eating all of it right now because it's too fucking loud. I have one little piece just staring at me. Like,
It's
"Come on,
rich
dog."
as shit, though, man. I had to
It
grab
is-
some water.
It's so rich. Jesus
Delicious,
Christ. Yeah.
but after like
It could
20
use
of
milk.
them,
It could
come
use some
on.
milk. Thanks, staff of this apartments.
How has your week been, fellas?
It's been good. I went skiing. No, I didn't.
I was like, really?
Oh shit! I don't know if you had this on the topic agenda. I didn't go over it all, but do you want to speak about the situation that you had in the park with your dog?
It's on there. It's on there.
Okay, then we'll
it's on
speak
there.
about it later.
We'll speak about it later. But no, my dick's been good. It's been holding up real well lately.
Glad to hear. I can sleep easy now.
Nice, long and shafty.
Great. No, it's been good. The week's been good. Hanging out with my daughter. She's like amazing me every fucking day.
Any new developments with her?
She's just walking everywhere, and it's hilarious. I'm telling you, it's like watching a fucking little midget, little Tyrion Lannister walking around the house. Especially because we got her some shoes, so now she looks like a complete person.
That's fucking crazy.
You know, because she'd just be barefoot before, but now she's got some
What
little
type of
walking
shoes? They're like tap shoes.
Tap shoes, I hope,
tap
yeah.
dancing?
They just like haunt her forever because they're so fucking loud.
You should get her the squeaky ones, right? Every time she takes a step.
The goofy one. Do wonders for all of us.
In the middle of the night, you hear him coming down the hallway.
They're like those.
Fucking get back to bed.
Metal polio braces and shit
Don't
from
do that.
Christmas Story.
Don't do that. Dude.
Some
No,
WD-40 on
It's been
those.
good. That's been the main thing. Just wifey and I enjoying the kid.
Nice.
That's really cool. You guys went out, or as a family outing, you've gone out to a couple of different places, right? I know you took her to, was it the LACMA?
Yeah, we took her to LACMA. Dude, she's been to like more museums than I think most people in LA like put together. Like, and it's only within her first 9 months of life, which is pretty dope.
That's really cool.
Yeah, she's been at LACMA. She's been to Getty. She's been to where else she's been? She's been to
The Getty is amazing, man.
the Getty a couple times
I've
actually.
met the Getty, bro.
Getty's
The Getty is
beautiful.
So cool.
Yeah.
It's so huge. But anyway, she's a very cultured baby. That's all I could say.
Remember when we saw Peanut Butter Wolf spin in the
Fridays off the 405.
in the courtyard?
Yeah. Many moons ago.
So
Yeah.
So we're gonna start with the intro topic, right?
Well, no, it's cool. Steve, how's your week? Tell me about your week. We missed Steve completely.
My week's good. It's cool. Nothing crazy.
Hanging out in Brentwood.
No, not anymore.
Got more. You're rocking the
Not anymore.
shirt, though. I see that.
Oh, yeah.
It's like a relic shirt. It's
Yeah.
not like a pride shirt. It's not going to go down like that.
No.
No one's going to remember fucking Brentwood.
Yeah.
Rip that shit out.
No, it's pretty good though. Been going over to the new spot for a little nogi action.
Yeah.
And then
I did nogi last night. I got fucked up.
Really?
I thought about you. I was like, Steve would have handled himself better.
what would you get caught in? What would you say?
I got guillotined. I got
Darce choked.
I got rear naked choked.
Nice.
I got kimura.
Gator rolled.
It was fun. It was
Yeah.
It was good times.
Yeah, I loved it.
That's called learning.
Shang Tsung.
Yeah, freaking. Yeah, I'm trying to step up my gi game. Can't be slick in the gi because people just hold on to your pants.
You can be slick. You just got to learn how.
Yeah, I'm learning. So now, my gi archive's building, which my no gi archive is fucking too big to watch now. I have like probably over 400 videos that I can just randomly scroll through and find something that I really like. But
That's crazy.
But yeah, it's good. Working towards my purple. Hopefully, I can get there soon enough. I gotta learn to be more dominant on top because I'm a submissions only type of dude and leg locks.
Yeah, I think
I'm sorry. Dominant on top is like it conjures up.
That was just from the wifey saying that. No, same thing with me. There was some guy who came in and he was like a high level blue belt and he fucked me up, dude. And I was just like, I was doing my best. I mean, he didn't tap me, but it was like I think in the end he was like, "Oh man, this session was like 3 points," and I was like, "I'm not a points fighter, bro. Like, it's not. My ambition is to
submit you.
Yeah, you know what I mean. I don't know.
But I'm gonna be watching heavily the little clip that you sent over, and
well, I mean, those were 2 black belts going at it. Like, dude, you can take notes, but
I'm gonna do that. PJ, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna get my purple belt.
Yeah. Steve, I got to meet the guy who's giving you your purple belt.
I'm gonna do it.
I'd be like, you need to be more dominant for sure as a purple belt. I mean, I'm not even saying that. 'Cause I'm not even a fucking fantastic purple belt, to be honest.
Yeah.
But I fucking Nogi, you got that shit down.
Yeah, Nogi. No, now in gi for sure.
Because you guys aren't doing like standard like lame ass drills, are you? Because that's what you should be doing.
We are. no, over there. He's more old school, so there's a lot of drills going on, which is cool. I'm good. I'm good with that. So, and then going over positions, and then Nogi, it's just like fucking free for all. Come in with what you got, and so I went against these other. Last time I went to Nogi, I had just done 10 rounds at the other spot, so I go over there and I got fucked up during Nogi, and I was like, fuck that, But even my mindset's still like. That shouldn't be happening, and I'm okay with being tapped.
Yeah, oh yeah.
I'm like, I don't have any ego about it, but I was like, damn, I wish I like to leave too with a couple of like notches on my belt.
Yeah, something you gotta search for the little things, victories.
But life's good. Everything's good.
It's good.
Fucking roundabout way. Everything's good. Yeah. I don't have any jiu-jitsu stories to speak of because
that sucks. That'd be hilarious if you
jiu-jitsu.
did. If you did, you're like, I got a jiu-jitsu story for you. Like,
but that shadow boxing I was doing last night. Oh man, killing it, baby!
I gotta see a video of it for this to be proved correct.
So should we officially start?
Yeah.
Let's get it going.
We gotta re-say some of this, but
well, so I submitted a topic that was extremely broad, but I was hoping that it would be broad, so it would bring out some personal reflection on the topic in general.
Interpretations.
And the topic was basically, what are your top 5 cultural influences, and those influences could come from music, movies, books, individuals in general, events, anything throughout your life that has had an impact from your younger self into the older self that you'll become today.
Yeah. All right. Well, the first topic that you had up was music, so I don't know how you guys interpreted that. I was like, I guess you could go like your favorite artist, your favorite album, your favorite track. I just went track because for me, I think of greatest bits of music in tracks. Like maybe it's not a whole album, but my first one is from Thelonious Monk. It's Memories of You. It's off a 1964 album. And it's just him solo on the piano playing a standard. And I was telling you guys already, but I think the first time I listened to it, and this is the reason why it was meaningful to me and why it like contributed to who kind of I am today is like, it was kind of like me transitioning from being an angry person to like being a little more chill. So it actually helped me a lot. But the reason I like it because it's kind of melancholy, it's kind of sad. Obviously, it's called Memories of You, so it kind of implies that someone is obviously a memory at that point. Yeah. So maybe he died in his life, and it was written. I mean, I know who it wasn't him who wrote it, but maybe that's what they were thinking of in the original standard. So I kind of like the melancholiness of it, and Monk's playing is very chaotic, and it kind of adds to that feeling of sadness to it. So you could feel the pain in it. So I like that one. That's my personal track.
Were you sad or transitioning during the time?
I'm always fucking sad.
Well, because I think I was asking you earlier off mic.
It's just easier to connect with it. That's all.
If you consume music in a fashion where it's very much relatable to the situation that you're going through at that time.
Mine's just completely emotional. I think it's like I tie my favorite music to like my favorite. Like to points in my life where it was like it felt appropriate to what I was going through.
Well, for instance, with me, personally, if I'm sad about something, I'm not a person who wants
I get
to.
what you mean. I don't listen to sad music.
I listen to sad music.
I
do.
Saying
I'm not a person who listens to music to get me out of an emotion. I wallow in the emotion. So if the emotion is happy, I'm only listening to things that are bright and vibrant.
No, that's
if
natural.
I'm sad,
that's natural.
Then I'm only listening to fucking like, I don't know, Life After Death or some shit.
That's for me. Life After Death is like me if I want to start feeling fucking angry. Anytime I listen to like some gutter ass shit, like I don't know, when he's talking about
I should say Ready to Die, because Ready to Die is the one that's most depressing.
Yes. I mean, you're right though. Like I'll listen to, I don't know, I'll put on some fucking death metal if I really want to get angry. Something like that. I get you. Yeah. So anyways, that was my track. I don't know, Steve. What did you pick for music or influence?
It doesn't have to be music. Is there
is there anything? I think it'd be cool if we did music first, and then we could do the rest of them, like just music, then television, then.
I just mean it doesn't have to be pigeonholed into music. It could be anything that's had any influence on you in the person that you've become now.
Well, let me see. Well, off the top of my head, I think one of the first hip hop song, I guess if you even consider it a hip hop song from when I was a kid, which transitioned me over from whatever the hell I was listening to then to like
what was like your
hip-hop.
What was like your first music that you listened to?
I think it was more like
like oldies. I don't know. I listened to oldies.
Probably like not oldies. It was probably like rock or something like that.
Like classic rock.
Yeah, maybe more like Hairspray, like Billy Idol, things like that, And then when I heard Aerosmith and Run DMC,
that collab, that makes sense,
And I was like, "What is this?
What is this shit?" Yeah.
Whoa! And I remember what I was doing at the time. I was laying on the couch in the living room, just listening to music as a kid, and the lights were off, and I was like falling asleep or whatever. And I was like, "Whoa, what is this?" And from there, I started to explore more and more. Mm-hmm. So that was a turning point in music. But I would say the music that influenced me the most growing up would be like R&B.
I was gonna say Steve's a big R&B head.
Yeah, it was like R&B, and I don't know. That's something that makes me feel, So
makes you feel like fucking sexy, like fucking rotating your fucking loins,
just gyrating those hips.
The funny thing is, you talking about the Aerosmith Run DMC collab. It's funny because they did exactly what they set out to do with that song by gaining a fan in hip hop.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like that was their entire thing. Like let's bridge this shit and get some hip hop fans and maybe even hip hop vice versa. I don't know.
Right.
I don't know how many thug dudes going around listening to Aerosmith.
And like the backstory on that song is that both of the two were apprehensive about that song even occurring.
That's true.
They both were like, we don't know if we want to cross genres like that. And so on a whim, they just decided to try something and see what type of impact it had on the market. And it just
that shit was perfectly made. That song was like perfect.
Dope.
And it's not a cheesy song. It's dope as shit.
Yeah.
So do I have to speak because I know
you have a million. Look, I narrowed mine down.
I have people, and a lot of these are artists. Most of them are hip hop artists. Yeah. But then there's also backstories as to why I chose these specific artists. So I don't know if
just do like one. Just do one then, because I mean, I narrowed mine down to one, and I could have went on for a million. Listen, I could have done one too. I did. I was trying to be respectful of the one topic rule, so we can move on to the next one. Pick your best, dude. You know it's Dilla. Come on.
No, but see, I have Dilla. He's third, actually.
That's fucking disrespectful. See? And you're out of the
Shut this
you're out of the
down.
J Dilla club right fucking now.
Because overall it's Dilla, but it. Damn, I can only do one.
I mean, come on. We only have so much time.
Come on, man.
I know music is fucking crazy. Like I'm like, which genre?
That'd be a podcast in itself.
What solo? Exactly. That could be a whole nother. Band.
Okay. Well, fuck it then. I'll do Jay.
Okay. Oh, fuck it. Please do, because I mean,
for me, and it's funny, I had a relationship toward Jay. I was initially drawn to his music because Jay wasn't the pretty rapper.
By the way, Jay Dilla is, just do like a brief synopsis.
No. This is Jay-Z.
Oh, Jay-Z.
No,
okay.
Jay-Z. No.
So I'm just going to say, I think he was referring to
me too.
That's right. Yeah, no. So it's Jay-Z. And I was drawn to Jay-Z because Jay-Z wasn't the typical pretty rapper. At that point, when I was really heavily into rap in like my high school years, everybody, you had Mace and you had things of that, those cats, and everybody, you had Mace, you had Puff. Everybody was the pretty boy swag rapper.
Yeah.
And then Jay came out and he looked very much like a regular dude.
The most regular guy
but the
look
cool
like.
thing is that he looked like a regular dude, but the energy around him was still this bravado and this arrogance and this I still belong in the same class as these other cats, and I really don't give a fuck about my deficiencies physically. I can wrap circles around these other guys. And that to me was cool because it allowed me to respect the fact that you were the sum of how you view yourself. You know, if you view yourself as less than, people will see you as less than.
Yeah,
if you view yourself as more than and more capable, people usually see you as more than and more capable. So for him, I really was drawn to him specifically. He had that in essence, that was like what he brought to the table for me, is to respect yourself more and view yourself in the highest possible light. You know, because you never know, people might see you in the same light that you view yourself, you know?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good one, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I definitely believe that you teach people how to treat you.
Yeah.
So,
like that guy you left with all his teeth on the floor. You really showed that guy.
yeah, there you go. Eat bananas.
And I'm running over so much stuff I didn't even speak about. Can I just, okay, so I had Jay-Z, DMX, Dilla, Soulquarians is huge. I could go on forever. And then I had Flying Lotus.
Yeah, Flying Lotus is dope.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but he was dope.
So, did you have anything for cultural at all? Or just?
I literally went topic by topic. Like, you put music, I came up with a music one. You put television, so.
What about television?
The Simpsons for me.
Okay.
Just because, like, it brought humor into my life. And if you're not down with Simpsons humor, I almost can't even fuck with you as a human. I'm just like, get out of my fucking face.
Yeah.
Like, I love the fucking Simpsons, dude. It's like, for one, Matt Groening, created by Matt Groening. Like, the first episode, I think, like 1982.
Yeah.
The longest running animated series, the longest running probably almost series, I think. They're still fucking making new ones, which is insane. And I don't know, it just came out with that humor was just fucking fantastic. For the writers are genius.
Yeah, I didn't put anything down for television, but if I did, it would definitely be in living color.
Yeah.
That shit was a movement. It made you proud to be black.
Nice.
It had the same effect as somebody like James Brown and that I'm black and I'm proud.
Yeah.
It was just really cool. It was during a time where like the essence of black energy was everywhere.
Oh, it was
everywhere.
huge.
Everybody was dressing in
a
all
tidal
these
wave.
crazy ass colors, all of these like African print shits and just wild shit. And it was really cool. It was a really cool time to be alive, you know?
Yeah, I kind of wish I was like 16 in that era, you know? Not just
Well, I
being
wasn't
born.
16, but yeah.
You were
I
16,
was
you
probably,
fucking man.
I was probably like 12 around that time.
What time? What year was that? Like 91? Because I was like 10.
Living color, yeah, probably early 90s.
I was-
92, 93.
Oh, well, never mind. I was like fucking 8. I was like 8 in 91. Oh, Steve was 25.
I was like
Steve auditioned for Living Color.
They didn't accept me.
Could have been you could have been Jim Carrey.
Anything for TV, Steve?
Yeah, I was trying to think. I mean, nothing like where I was like, oh yeah. I mean, in Living Color was a good one. You know, Saturday Night
Silver
Live.
Spoons?
Cheers.
Yeah, just,
The whitest shit ever?
but I was trying to think. I was like,
Family Ties?
when I was a kid, I used to watch a show called Max Headroom.
Yep.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah.
Oh, I remember
Yeah, that
Max
shit was
Headroom
so fucking dope,
as shit,
man. That shit was really
It was
cool,
like,
man.
He's like that 3D kind of looking dude, right?
Yeah, but yeah.
That
He got
shit,
real big.
That shit, I had to watch it all the time. So, but yeah, that one right there, I'll always remember.
That and DuckTales.
And DuckTales.
DuckTales was crazy, man.
Alf.
Alf was insane.
Alf was dope.
Yeah.
Small
Alf.
Wonder.
Married with
We
Children.
love Small
I
World.
know we love-
obviously Married with Children.
Yeah,
is
it's
a
an
classic.
easy one.
Darkwing Duck.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck.
Yeah.
Transformers.
Chippendale, Rescue Rangers,
Yeah.
all of that stuff.
He-Man. Thundercats.
Yeah, those are like
Tailspin.
We lived in a golden age of child programming
Yeah.
or
yeah.
children's programming for
Then I
like,
have all of these, like the Nickelodeon shit. Just even the
I hate when kids
Nickelodeon
wear,
would
listen,
holy
fucking
shit.
Maya the Bee.
when you see kids who are like 18,
David the Gnome.
they're wearing shit like
Eureka's Castle.
They're wearing shit like Rocko's
Yeah.
Modern Life, and I'm like,
You're like,
weren't
you don't
in
know
fucking
shit
life.
about any of that
Dude.
stuff.
You weren't when Nick was doing Nick Jr. They're like in a minute. I was like, dude, that's fucking like
My
all
brother
that-
and me.
all that,
Double
All
Dare.
that. My brother and me.
yeah, Family Double Dare,
Yeah.
Double Dare,
Fucking get
Legends of the
slimed.
Hidden Temple.
What was the shit with Camp Anawana?
Oh, Salute Your Shorts.
Yeah, Salute
Your
Shorts.
Shorts.
That, dude.
Yeah.
Pete and Pete.
Yeah.
Pete and Pete.
Yes. See, that was the golden era.
That was
Ren and Stimpy.
golden.
Ren and
That
Stimpy.
shit was-
Oh,
That's
shit.
when Nickelodeon was rocking.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were
So
killing it. They had
dope.
so much good content. It was crazy.
No.
Are You Afraid of the Dark?
That was a creepy ass beginning. It
Which
actually
one?
was
dope.
Which one was Goosebumps? Goosebumps was that Disney or what was?
I think it was Nickelodeon just
Nickelodeon?
later. It was just later.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It was produced by someone, yeah. But Goosebumps, the television series, was creepy. Yeah, man, this is all good shit. This is all making me nostalgic. So TV was big for, I don't know. Sarah's freaked out because I'd be like, I'll just say something out of midair that's from like 1986 or something. I'm like, that was in television when I was 5. I can't get it out of my brain. Just like with the stupid Jack Steffen thing that I sent you.
Oh, God.
Steffen, Jack Steffen,
Yeah.
Jack
Call you
Stefanovic. And I'm like, why does that shit stick in your head forever and ever and ever?
Yeah.
I could be 95 years old. I'll still remember that.
Jack
Steffen.
Steffen.
Yeah. You remember that?
Those his last words.
I'd be honored.
What'd you have for books?
For books, I had 2. These are like not like, these are just like deep shit. I'm like, apologies, but the Dalai Lama's an open heart. Practicing.
You read that in 3rd grade.
I read that when I think I was like maybe, it was like in 2005, 4, 6, no, 7 or 8 maybe. I don't know. It was a long time ago. It was like at least 10 years for sure. It's called Practicing Compassion and is written by the Dalai Lama. And it was in my time where I was transitioning like from being like mentally tortured with anger and trying to transcend into something better. So I don't know. I was just like, as corny as it was, I was like, you know what? Buddhism seems like something dope because I was an atheist at the time. So like a hardcore atheist. And I was like, I felt like there was something better than just being an angry atheist. And there was. So I read that book. That's dope. It healed something inside me. I like that. The 4 Agreements is another one. And I think both of you guys read that, right? Or the 4?
No, I don't believe I have.
4 Agreements is a fucking fantastic book. It's a book on Toltec wisdom by Don Miguel Ruiz. And basically the 4 tenets are these: be impeccable with your word, don't make assumptions, don't take anything personally, and always do your best.
That's really cool.
And they're like just really simple things that like they can be like mantras for you to just build on. You know, like you're obviously not going to reach perfection every day with trying to meet these 4 simple things, but it was impactful to me. And actually, it's funny because I traded books with. Remember Homegirl from Otis? She was that white girl. She was kind of ditzy and she was white.
Brick knockers.
She was a sweetheart. And anyway, we traded like books, and she traded me this book, and I gave her.
This wasn't Secretariat, right?
No.
Okay.
See, we have some fucked up names. No, it wasn't. But anyway, I got that book back, and I read it, and I was just so impressed with it. I was like, oh, this is great. These are, it's good advice when it's hard as fuck to take.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? When it kind of just grinds against what you've...
or it makes you really look at yourself.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
yeah.
And you're like, I've been looking the other way. And yeah.
One of the books that I put down was one that you actually gave me to use, which was the autobiography of Marilyn Manson.
Oh, yeah. That's a really good book.
It was just so interesting, and it was
It's really
so cool because he's also a person who has been tortured throughout his life. And by the end of the book, he goes through a process of understanding where these ideals come from. You know, from a troubled, youth, growing into adulthood and not dealing with those situations head on.
Yeah.
You know, trying to navigate around them and use his success as a buffer for not really dealing with those situations.
Course,
it also teaches you in your adulthood how to face yourself, how to look yourself in the mirror and say, okay, these are my deficiencies and these are things that I need to strengthen, rather than navigate around.
Being painfully honest with yourself. Yeah, so anyway, that's a dope book. I'm glad that you got something from that because I thought I did too.
And then the DMX autobiography. And
that's actually pretty interesting. I
couldn't
couldn't imagine.
Reason, he has an amazing autobiography.
I haven't read that. I'll try to check that out. Steve?
See, for me as a kid, it was 2 probably, Where the Red Fern Grows. Another one would be Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe.
Ah, nice.
So as
going,
a
like,
from
classic
a,
old school stuff.
But as a
You've been hitting that shit like
I know
all the time.
as an adult though,
Keep smoking weed.
I think for me, just because where I'm trying to go is like the 4-hour work week for me. Mine's not.
That's hard, man. That's a hard one too.
Yeah,
it's a great book though.
Yeah, and I mean, from the goal of mine is to start reading more books. You know, I actually have like 3 books right now that need to be cracked open and that I'm really interested in. But yeah, I mean, that's really about it. Like I'm definitely not a person to say I've read this biography and I don't have that, which I would though because it's just something. It's a goal of mine. Yeah. So,
nice.
Well, I think we all consume what we're primarily interested in.
Yeah.
I've always only been interested in people's lives.
Yeah.
You know,
Interesting
I
people's
love
lives.
people's lives and to watch their growth throughout their life. That are kind of consume their growth throughout their life. I'm not really that interested in like, I'm not a voracious reader, you know, to that level. But if you put an autobiography or a biography in front of me, I'll consume it in no time. You know, it's just interesting for me.
That's
it's much more interesting for me than like self-help or things of that nature. But I know
I mean, the most recent one that I read that was fiction, I guess it's called The Game. I think I told you guys about this before, but basically it's just like another form of The Matrix sort of situation.
Yeah.
It's cool. I like it. So that one's really good. It's basically real recap of it, or it's just that basically you, as a kid, you're plugged into a machine, right? And you're transported to this thing called Earth, and you live a human life, right? So you live your whole life, and then when you die, you wake up, right? So then you live at least 5 lives in this, whatever it may be, as a person in real life. So the point of it is that you've lived lives, so you're a wiser person growing up. So by the time, I think they say by the time you're done, you're like 12 years old, and you've gone into at least 5 times, lived 5 different lives, had families, got married, experienced loss, gained wisdom.
I hope this is the last one. I'm ready to wake up.
So, yeah. So it's basically that. And yeah, I mean, that one's really cool.
No, that's dope. That's actually really dope. I mean, that's kind of like that's like the karmic cycle, kind of, right?
Yeah,
It's
like that.
Like rebirth and it's like the chance to better yourself each lifetime,
right? So that the real world
so waking up is enlightenment.
Yeah. Oh, but it's pretty cool though, because there's people who choose not to wake up. They choose to stay.
Yeah.
Forever in like this life.
Mm-hmm.
Why wouldn't you? If it's a fairy tale.
Yeah.
So should we go to local news?
Yeah, local news. All right, so we'll start this one off with the local national news. This one's sad. Sad day for the Catholic Church. Once again, no cheating. It's just Catholic Church related. But 2 nuns embezzle $500,000 from Catholic school to spend on trips to Las Vegas. I didn't even know that was Vegas.
Yep. So this is 2 nuns suspected in $500,000 theft from Catholic school. Had a taste for gambling, church says.
Damn.
So Sister Mary Margaret Kruper and Sister Lana Chang retired earlier this year from their jobs as principal and vice principal of St. James Catholic School in Torrance, California.
That's the only way you're going to retire early, by the way, is if you embezzle $500,000.
And I guess basically only after they had finished their tenure at the school had the school like done some financial checking. You know, they were going over their financial records, and they found that there was over $500,000 or $500,000 of misappropriated funds, that came up within those records.
Shit,
and it says,
whose loose ass accounting is that?
I was about to say, man, where was this accountant at?
It says they're part of a religious order, the 2 sisters, and it says that they confess to misappropriating the funds, but I guess it wasn't really taken seriously until after they were done with the school, after they had left the school. And it's just an insane situation. It seems that these 2 sisters were taking most of the money that the school received through things such as fundraising and tuition, and they were depositing those checks that they received in these situations into private accounts that belonged to those 2 individuals.
Wow.
So it would go straight into a personal account rather than it going into the school account. that's actually what tipped people off.
So you're saying these Catholic nuns
More
didn't
professional.
follow the Bible? Thou shalt not steal, I think, is in the Bible.
And plus, why would you open an account in your real name if you're gonna?
It's weird, right?
I mean, they're not pros, I guess. I wonder if they went to the gambling tables too in their nun garb.
They probably did, yeah. You probably get preferential treatment, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Anyways, the cool thing was that these two nuns were actually teachers for my wife when she was in, like, I think 8th grade. So she knew who they were and everything. She's like, oh my God, not Sister Lana Che. I'm like, yeah, she's going to jail, baby.
You know what kind of infuriated me is it says church officials initially sought to address the embezzlement internally.
Of course they weren't.
And didn't desire to press charges.
That's what they do for all the child molesters
Exactly,
too.
yeah.
They shuffle them around.
That's why I had a problem with it. Why, in this case, was it just fine?
You're not
that they were
automatically
able to do this?
excused because you're part of a clergy. Like,
Yeah.
you're still subject to the law of the land.
They should be exposed just like anyone else would be exposed for misappropriating funds.
Well, how about this? How about why is this such a big deal? And like these priests that are molesting these children aren't being punished, but
because those children will get over it. But
but these two women are.
no, they should go to jail.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah, go to jail. Sorry, you stole money. Treat them just like anyone else. Sorry, you're a normal person. Just because you are celibate and you live in a fucking creepy coven up on the church, doesn't absolve you.
Yeah, it really sucks, man.
You can't trust nobody.
$500,000.
That could have gone to those rich little kids.
What does that say about? I mean, there's so many people out there who pay tithes and things of that nature and donate toward churches. At what point do these people realize that you're just donating to other human beings who have flaws and, are fallible just like anyone else?
Because in the Catholic Church, I went to Catholic Church for like half of my damn life. You would think like the pews would get more comfortable, or like the fucking kneelers would be more comfortable.
Well, yeah, with all the donation money.
It shouldn't just be these wooden planks you're fucking sitting on, you know?
Yeah.
Because I know at least in the black church,
Hosts would taste better.
you kind of see what you're paying for. Like
you must be paying to pay the choir, right?
And the pastor when he pulls up in a Mercedes.
Yeah, at least you see him. He's comfortable at least.
Pastor,
Yeah,
good.
got a brand new Cadillac.
He living good.
I don't know.
God.
I don't know if you've been down Crenshaw, but there is. I want to maybe First AME. First AME
is fucking dope. I've been to that church.
First
It's
AME
good.
started as this small church on Crenshaw, and they received such large amounts of donations that they made this huge complex
like a mega
on the
church,
corner.
right?
Yeah, it's a mega church on the corner in Crenshaw. And it's decked out, you're on there and everything's comfortable. It's
I haven't been to that one.
It's
I went to the old
amazing.
one.
It's plush.
Right.
They're receiving ridiculous amounts of money, and that money is just being skimmed off the top to put a fucking velvet in your seats.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
still, you see something at least.
But no one takes money like Scientology.
Well, I mean, because they're smart enough to prey on the rich,
Yeah.
They're like, we need that Tom Cruise money.
Well, I think that's where most of the donations at First AME have come from black
People.
elite, the black elite.
Yeah. Right. Well, makes sense.
Good for them. That church is fucking rocking, though. The old one, I was like, I don't even like God, and this shit's fucking dope. This shit was so
Dude, that shit is
popping
like-
and exciting. It was like being at a concert.
It's like Jill Scott in the back of that shit, like every Sunday.
dude,
Get her out of here.
get her out of here.
Too much. That sucks that that's all you know, Jill Scott.
That's all I know.
now.
It used to be common related, but now it's that. Oh well. Sorry. Go directly to jail.
Like,
Do not pass go.
Name a Jill Scott song.
That one where she sucks the dick in the middle of the song.
The one where she's dick sucking.
Oh man, she's so Aquarian. Come on.
So what's the next shit? What's on the next?
The next one is go for it, dude.
Netflix will disappear in the near future. I'm interested to hear about this.
Dude, I hope that you were actually. This is only because I read an article in Forbes magazine. I thought it was.
Yeah,
I thought it was.
I read that one.
I thought it was interesting. Did you actually?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, because this was an interesting one because it said like Netflix best days are over.
Interesting.
And it's this guy who's like a senior analyst in some business marketing thing, and he basically was talking about how
Does it have to do with Disney?
Yeah.
does have to do with Disney.
Okay.
So it's like basically they were the only big competitors in town first, but now you have Amazon with Jeff Bezos and his unlimited pockets.
Amazon Prime is trash, though.
It is.
No,
The
it's
layout's
not.
fucking garbage.
Listen.
Yes, it is. Amazon Prime is trash. Don't stand.
It's almost like HBO. Like you have to.
Yeah,
if the shows on there aren't your jam, then it's trash. But look, the Marvelous Ms. Maisel just came back for season 2. That's a good. It's well written.
Sneaky Pete.
It's well written, and I tried to watch Sneaky Pete. I wasn't really into it.
Oh, really?
But anyways, so Netflix, yeah. So they're basically now relying on only their original content to stay afloat, and I guess they're millions and millions of dollars in debt at this point.
You said their original content. Netflix has original content?
Oh,
well,
man.
what they call original.
Because everything that I've seen is Netflix sponsored.
No, Netflix originals. Anytime you see Netflix original, it's either birthed directly from Netflix or they've bought rights to say that it's directly from Netflix.
What shows are Netflix? Okay. Orange is the New Black, right?
Yeah, Orange is the Black. Okay. I mean, they have good content too. That's theirs. It's original, but
they do.
Because everything I've seen always say it has Netflix, but it doesn't say Netflix originals, which means that it's.
So, anyways, now Amazon was the first one, and they're a mega giant in business.
Right.
Second one, you nailed it on the head. Disney, because they're launching their own service called Disney Plus.
Yeah,
that's where a lot of people think the canceled Marvel shows.
Well, here's the thing, are
going to jump.
Disney owns so much. They own Marvel, Pixar, Star Wars, ESPN, ABC, X-Men, and then all the traditional characters from Disney.
Yeah.
So they're going to pull all their content out of Netflix and put it in Disney Plus. You know how many parents are going to fucking buy not even just parents. Everybody will probably buy that Disney Plus.
Just the fact that all of those canceled shows, those canceled Marvel shows from Netflix are going to jump over to that new platform. It's going to be amazing. Yeah. People are going to jump over just for that. I mean, what you canceled Daredevil, that in itself was such a high-rated show for Netflix. Once it jumps over to Disney, you already have a certain number of streaming viewers that are gonna jump to that platform.
Yeah, and also just an interesting fact: Amazon is the third largest publicly traded company on Earth. Yeah, and so that apparently makes them they have deeper pockets than Netflix or Disney.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So that's kind of crazy. So Netflix is going to have a problem in the near future.
Yeah,
and that their model is not sustainable at this point.
Yeah, I mean, if Amazon really wanted to, and I'm not saying that they're not taking it serious, but they wanted to take Amazon Video serious, they could reformat, they could do a lot of cool shit.
They could do more.
They could do a lot more. But I think I heard recently that they just pulled a bunch of funds or they just put a bunch of funds into doing more original content. So
yeah, it says they dumped $5 billion developing original shows.
Yeah, that's it.
And movies. Yeah.
Well, Netflix still has the comedy market cornered, so.
Yeah, that's true.
If they let that go, then they might have a problem. But
I
think they can keep themselves afloat.
They can't stay afloat on just the comedy. I don't.
Have you
so.
seen Bumping Mics? Please tell me you've seen that.
No.
I heard about it.
Jeff Ross and
Dave Attell. Yeah. I heard about it on the podcast.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah,
I'm gonna check it out.
Really good.
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah.
It shows you how quick these fucking comics are because they're coming up with the shit on the fly.
Oh, okay.
And they're just going back and forth. I mean, we obviously think what we do is amazing. No, but you start to feel yourself and think like, oh, we have some cool banter that goes back and forth, and we like to think that we're quick on our toes. Those dudes,
they're
extremely
they're
quick
professional
on their toes.
writers, basically. They're professional writers and entertainers and comedians.
I developed a lot of respect for Dave Attell. I'd never come across anything from him that I was extremely excited about. Yeah, from a comedian standpoint. But he's really good. He's a great joke writer.
Yeah, he's got a good stand up too. I used to get comedy on CDs. Fuck was that? We're about to die, y'all. Live and direct.
No, I mean we're right next to the gym and people fucking just throwing shit on the ground,
tossing kettlebells and shit.
Yeah,
they doing a podcast, y'all go crazy,
doing a Spartan run over there. Oh man, so yeah, that was just kind of an interesting note on Netflix because Netflix is so big right now, and I really couldn't even imagine not having Netflix around. Right. So for someone to predict that something so dire for them, I'm like, oh, that's kind of a trip. We'll see. Disney Plus, they could do it. Disney take anything and
it would definitely be interesting.
Yeah.
If Netflix went down, it would be the swiftest fucking plane dive ever.
Oh yeah,
because Netflix is the premier source of streaming at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I'm waiting for Amazon Prime to kick it up a notch too. So I mean, there's a couple of shows on there I really like.
Amazon Prime, the shows are all right. I just don't think they're the platform for the most part, it's
sucks.
not designed well.
It's really bad.
Yeah, it's not designed well. It doesn't particularly grab you from a visual standpoint. I mean,
Right.
The Amazon's just terrible.
It's fucking horrible.
Their user interface is disgusting.
it's trash. Netflix is integrated into everything now. I mean, there's Netflix buttons on your smart TV devices.
Yeah.
So I think Amazon Prime has to get to that level. Disney Plus will have to get to that level where they're so much integrated into media and things that are in your home. Objects that are in your home that you actually have to deal with them to even deal with your televisions.
Well, they have the money to invest in developing something that's going to be functional and be user friendly and be welcoming and well designed. I don't know.
I mean, it's easy though too. You just kind of take the pioneers' good ideas, and make it yours.
Make it better. Apple, where you corner the user, where they have to go through your product to even get their product working.
Evil ass Apple.
Yeah.
Oh man. All right. Next topic, yo. Oh man, that's mine. That's whack.
Voyager 2 and 1 now both in interstellar space.
It's so fucking far, y'all. You don't even know. The thing is super far. So these two deep space probes were both launched in 1971.
Oh shit.
And they're still going. So imagine just like shooting a bullet that would just go on forever. So
right.
it's gone on. It's now they've now reached the part where the sun no longer interacts with it in a magnetic way. Like its solar waves aren't even touching it anymore.
Right.
And it's out of our heliosphere and into the solar winds of interstellar space.
Now, doesn't one, and I might be thinking about the wrong thing, it's moving so quick, it moves like 11 miles every second. Because there's no friction in space. I mean, you can throw a rock and it can just go forever until it hits an atmosphere or some other object. But it just keeps gaining speed. Actually, is what I mean. If I'm thinking of the right thing,
it's crazy because I mean, think about it. I think the mission now has gone on 41 years, and it's that. And the technology they said used back then has been eclipsed 200 times over at this point. Wow. They said that the stuff. Obviously, they always use that at the cell phone as one. But the technology in your cell phone is much more advanced and more powerful than the technology used back then, and that shit's still reporting back to us. Yeah. It's pretty crazy.
That is crazy.
So, anyways, those two deep space probes are way out there. The exciting thing that for me is like they're now out of our heliosphere. They're going out into interstellar space, and now it's like, what can these two probes encounter out there?
An asteroid destroys.
Are they still
anything?
Is there? Are they
anything?
Are they still transmitting any type of?
Yeah, they're transmitting data for everything.
Data,
They did flybys on like all the planets on their way out, but now they're so far out. They're just going to be reporting on new stuff.
But obviously, there's no video or anything.
No. But I mean, they tell enough of a picture through the data that they give back that the scientists process that and will tell you a narrative of something that's interesting that'll happen. So it's kind of cool, man. Like, what is it going to see out there?
Man, I don't know. It's kind of interesting, though. You think maybe in 30 years they'll come up with something that they'll launch or beam, surpass what we actually. Like I'm talking even at distance. It's like they're so advanced that they get it out there even quicker, right? So it passes the probe.
It passes the probe immediately. The probe's like, really? I've been out here fucking
working my ass off
80 years and shit, and this motherfucker.
Yeah, no. So that's cool. I mean.
You know what? Like before we
space
go
shit
to
is
the,
cool to me.
To the next topic, you're speaking about last week. You were speaking about the documentary. What was the name of the documentary again?
Above Majestic.
Above Majestic.
Yeah.
So I went home immediately and I watched a bit of it that night.
A bit of it or all of it?
No. I watched a bit of it that night, and then I was able to consume the rest the next night.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's really dope.
It's dope,
really
right?
Cool.
Yeah. Dude.
You know what I personally latched on to the most, which was interesting to me, is when they were speaking about the national debt. How much the United States, or how much unaccounted for money,
trillions.
Yeah, the United States, and they were likening that to the amount that it cost places like China to build ghost cities.
Yeah.
They were saying that China could build something like 3 to 4 whole ghost cities.
They're built.
Well, they were saying that for the amount of money that is unaccounted for in the national debt,
right?
They were just building ghost cities at the highest level,
right?
And even those ghost cities, in totality, didn't amount for the amount of
That's
money
missing.
that's missing from United States. It was insane.
It's crazy too because maybe that's money that could be going towards the debt, right? That we owe, but it's going
multi-trillions of dollars unaccounted for.
Yeah. And it's crazy because when I used to look at conspiracies and things like that, everything that's in this documentary laces it all together.
It does, right?
And you're like, whoa, wait a minute. Because of that?
Yeah, at some point they jump off of something, right? And you're like, how is that?
Yeah, exactly. Like when it comes to like pedophiles, high-level elites.
Yeah, and it's insane when they were speaking about the reptilian race.
The reptilian race.
Scary stuff, dude.
I mean, like...
It's so far-fetched, but it
was fun.
It's fun, and in my head, I'm kind of like... In my head, I think the most recent thing that tripped me out as far as like time progression is like how many times has this civilization that we currently know of, how many times has it been here already at this point?
And
before like shit went, DEFCON
and then
6,
apexed and
exactly, and then collapsed
and
we went back to fucking fish and we got to.
I really truly believe that. I really truly believe that it's,
but we would never
it's cyclical.
know, right?
That it's cyclical. It keeps going in cycles.
If the Earth is 5 billion years old and it only took like millions of years to evolve, how many times? What number? What round? What lap are we on right now?
Well, and also, did we look the same?
That's true.
What did we look like?
That's true. Yeah.
And there are some people that believe, the things that we can't understand about Egyptian culture and
That's the thing,
and architecture is the manifestation of them reaching an apex and what they could achieve, as humanity at that time, and then nosediving as well. Yeah.
So that's what I mean. Like, if that's the case, then why wouldn't there? There could very well be. We're still like, the universe itself is much older, so it's like there could be some fucking forces that happen to be alien, reptilian, whatever the fuck you want to call it, playing with shit here.
It's weird. That was cool when they were speaking about the universe being one large neural network.
As well. That was dope.
And you guys
we talked about that
speaking about how when weapons of mass destruction or nuclear bombs are set off, it disrupts that neural network, and that neural network then radiates throughout the fucking cosmos, and so it's a blip.
The baby's got a gun.
Yeah, it's a crazy thing, but I mean, I don't know. I mean, I've maybe seen something in the sky, but man, I've never seen anything really,
I have.
And you have, that's right.
I have, and I didn't trip over it, but I mean, I'm just like, to be honest, I'm like, I got to see. For me, I'm like, I got to see something special.
That's awesome, yeah.
Mm-hmm. For me, I'm like, I'm not even taking it any way weird. It doesn't need to be reported to channel fucking 11 or anything,
right?
Unless I can get on there on channel 11.
I mean, there's one.
Catch me in the
they
morning.
Had strong relations to. They were speaking about the extraterrestrial strong relation to, like Germany,
right?
In the Nazi party.
Yeah, we're talking about the empath, right? The empath.
Yeah, the empath.
And we know that for a fact. Even if you don't believe in anything in this documentary, there was a Nazi interest in the occult.
Yeah.
And extraterrestrial, activity. So we know that for a fact.
Yeah. And they were trying to reverse. Well, supposedly they're trying to reverse engineer like alien technology, right?
UFOs,
Things like
right?
that.
Yeah, and alien technology.
Yeah, and but then what about the guy who was like one of the kids that they took here in America and experiments, and then he said there's a Mars jump platform like 999 Sepulveda, and I passed by that building.
I have, many times,
and I was. What?
Oh, I remember about that.
Yeah, that's actually
that's heading toward Dockweiler, right?
It is actually. Yeah. That's right off the 105. My mom used to work right down the street from that building. So it's odd because we all know about it, and I've ridden my bike past the thing a million times, and it's odd that he was so specific, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was. But then at the same time, you're like, well, if let's say that's bullshit or whatever. Yeah, what do they do in that building? Like. Making like uniforms.
But then again, I mean, how many buildings out there are just like what really goes on in that fucking building?
But it's extremely prominent. It seems like it's a huge. I want to know red 999.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And then if you flip that 999,
666.
But you know what's crazy is that all those companies are right by each other, though.
Yeah,
you got Raytheon, Boeing,
Raytheon. Yeah, they got all the aerospace going on over there.
Yeah, Northrop. over there. All that, who knows how many crazy crabs they have in there. I mean, that are.
I'm going tomorrow to go check them out.
I want to know the knock on the door right now. Knock on the fucking door. Hey, Raytheon, what's going on up in here?
Yeah, why don't you get fucking shot at the door?
Sir, that's the name of our company. It's not an actual person.
I won't speak to Raytheon right now.
Raytheon, Mr. Raytheon.
All right, let's go to the next one.
So Trump concerned about being impeached. Why? Sees it as a real possibility, sources say.
Yeah, so President Donald Trump has expressed concern that he could be impeached when Democrats take over the House, a source close to the president said. The source said Trump sees impeachment as a real possibility. So I guess now that the Democrats have taken over the House, he is afraid that they're going to be like, get your weird ass out of here.
Yeah.
You think that would actually happen?
I don't know.
I don't think so.
I mean, I think it's time for a good impeachment, though, right? Just like
we've gone too long. We're due for an impeachment.
Yeah.
So I guess this impeachment process is primarily focused on the finance violations that he's had that been tied to Trump through his attorney, Michael Cohen, who's not only had allegations of misappropriating funds during his platform for presidency, but also payouts to alleged mistresses over the time that they've been aligned. So he's just wondering if Democrats are going to finally put their foot down and say, look, we're going to rally for impeachment and see if the American people.
Mueller's about to drop the bomb, man.
But who's going to take his place?
The house of cards are falling.
Who does it?
Mike Pence.
Yeah, Mike Pence will.
He's a fucking weirdo in and
That'd be interesting too.
I feel like he'd hold himself a little more diplomatically, but he would still err on the side of that weird fucking religious platform,
Yeah.
Yeah. Another source is saying that Trump really isn't sweating this at all because he feels that. I mean,
who? Fox News? No,
it says he could be impeached in the House, but he doesn't believe that because also aside from being impeached, they're saying that even if he's not impeached, he might be up for jail time preceding his term as president because of the offenses that he's made while in his
funny thing
his
is he's played his normal business game in the world of politics.
Yeah.
He's just dug such a deep hole.
Why would you bring that spotlight on yourself when you're doing dirty deeds in the background and you're doing all this other shit and you're like, you know what, I'll just ramp it up a notch and become a president and do it that way too.
I think because somebody like Trump, he's a narcissist. He doesn't.
Yeah,
he's
that's
not,
true.
Oh yeah, he's not too concerned about what other people are.
He's been untouchable forever.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Yeah, so
it's like a made man. He's untouchable.
I don't know. I mean, it would be extremely interesting if how long has President been? I mean, how long has Trump been president at this point? Has it been 2 years?
Like 2 years and change?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
So, I mean, shit, he's halfway.
Feels like
he's halfway done. I think he would be fine. I think he would say
he's done enough damage. Please, God, get him out already.
The experiment was a success.
It's an interesting one. Yeah.
Some evil people's views of success for sure.
Yeah.
Then you have Mike Pence take over. You get the lesser of two evils, and
for the second
half. I'll take it. I'll just shouldn't be a loudmouth like this guy.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Steve.
All right. So more than 3,000 illegals have been caught trying to cross the border in one day.
I like how you put illegals. 3,000
illegals. Are they? Yeah, they're not illegal until they actually cross the border, though. Am I right?
You are right. Yeah.
Well,
technicality, you got me.
So it's kind of crazy. So I guess it's up from last year, and then and one day I guess they've caught over actually 3,000 people trying to cross the border. Mm-hmm. So
they want to go into
this was last week.
They want to get into those detention centers real quick because they're like Marriott's.
Yeah. So
that
basically,
was a joke, folks.
So basically, we've seen them on just like some raggedy ass tents, right? But anyway, so they're calling it a full blown crisis. A majority of the people trying to cross their families. So 350 of them. 350 of the people trying to cross were children that were with parents, but the remaining amount was.
Where are these people primarily coming from?
I don't know.
Is it Mexico?
No, it might be part of the caravan.
It's Central America.
Central America. But what part of Central America exactly?
Like Honduras, Guatemala.
Yeah. Those shits must suck. They must be terrible.
El Salvador. Yeah, it's bad.
Could you imagine seeing these places in Central America like you're the boyfriend and your girl just running away from you like as fast as with everything she has. People are shooting at her and shit. She's like, shit. I don't give a shit.
Moving like Spider-Man.
He's a terrible person.
Well, the crazy thing is, a majority of them were families, but 350 of them were children without parents. They were solo on their own.
Wow.
The parents probably died. They're right back on the road. This skeleton like 200 miles back.
And the thing is, so in total that they rounded up in just that one day was over like 1,100 children.
Mm-hmm. Imagine the situation that could have separated them. Either way, that kid doesn't have a parent.
I wonder what happens with those children. Do they go back into whatever?
A lot of them go into foster care.
I was going to say foster care.
Here in the States and things like that.
Wait, but they would go into foster care here?
I don't know. I was listening to a thing on NPR where the original kids that are being separated who were never reunited, they've been put up for adoption. Which is really strange because then now these parents don't even know where their kids are at. Yeah. These kids are getting thrown into adoption. It's strange. I mean, it's messed up. But and who knows, these kids that are just I don't know. I'm sure a good majority of them are getting sent back and letting their government deal with it.
I was wondering if they were getting sent back to their country of origin,
probably,
and just put into adoption then.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah,
that's why they send them back. Just hold them in detention centers
forever,
forever and ever, forever, ever. Yes, that's fucking horrible. I was just the notion flashing in my head. I was like, I should adopt one of those kids.
Oh man,
like for my second one. That's such a dice roll.
Yeah,
you know what's funny? I just read
genetic dice roll. It's like, let me just roll the dice and see what I'm going to get.
I just read the next topic and I took it literally before I realized it was about you. I was like, local brown man. I was like, oh, okay. Local brown man harassed in park by white officer.
It was me. Yeah. I was that brown man.
He's the local brown man.
This is fucked up because I sent you guys a video of
it. I just saw that video today. And I was like, what is this? Because you guys send me shit. I'm at work, so
what is
so
this?
What?
It was sent 5 days ago.
It'll be like
stupid shit.
But there'll be like 61 messages.
You got to scroll through.
Yes, we do.
Listen, you got to scroll through them, Steve. I do. I got to go back and like.
Steve, you know, we can tell you basically put us on like mute. Cause we'll go through a whole conversation the whole day, and you'll like 10 hours later you'll be like tight.
No, all I know is Steve wakes up, goes to work, gets off at 4, and then goes to jiu-jitsu from 4 to 11 p.m. And then he gets back to you the next fucking day.
Yeah. Then the next day he looks at it and it's like,
true.
You're living the fucking life. You're like,
it's
you go to work and then you do 9 hours of jiu-jitsu and then you just like wake up the next day and do it again.
It's true.
Retroactively goes through all the shit we've been speaking about for 3 days. And
it's
he's
true.
like,
I'm like, let me scroll through this fucking novel. I'm like, what is this video?
The same thing happens with me sometimes.
Yeah, it's true.
You guys go back and forth. It'll be later because my old ass is asleep at like 10:30, and there'll be conversations that start at 11. I'm like,
it's
dude,
true.
I wish I want to jump in, but
yeah, that's true.
Well, if me and and Steve are gonna speak back and forth, it'll be around 11.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then I wake up in the morning, you see me respond at like 6:45 in the morning.
But I know
that's
that.
because Joopy just woke up, and I'm like, all right, I can tend to her. And then
the only time I'm not in it is when I'm at work.
Yeah.
And then
So no, this was okay. So the inner, my soul was hurting after
Speak
this
that
one.
shit.
No, it was just another incidence of fucking, the police force using their boots to stomp on the less fortunate. No,
PJ got Sandra Bland.
Yeah. Okay, so I got a ticket for having my dog off leash.
Are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, I got a citation for that.
I mean, I heard you saying like the idea or whatever on the video, but
I was at a park near my house, a huge park. It's 2 parks connected to each other. One is like multiple playgrounds and like a huge field. The reason this park is so large is because they have electric lines running through it and then also a radio tower.
Oh, okay.
So they need like hundreds of yards of space. So this open, fucking way open.
Right.
I take Kuma off leash. That's what this. I'm not saying I wasn't. He is off leash. I need to take him off leash every once in a while. He's a fucking dog.
Yeah.
I want to let him run every once in a while. So, anyways, I go.
A question before you go for it. Real quick. Was it populated with a huge amount of people?
No.
Okay.
It was 12. It was 11:30 on a weekday.
I didn't see anybody in your video.
There was no one.
So there wasn't a lot of danger that he was going to bite.
No.
The nearest
person. Yeah. What? I don't know how many. Out on the street, there's 2 major streets on each side, and then there's like a neighborhood on the other side.
Okay.
Anyways, there was actually one person there who was just exiting the park, and I waited. There's like a big fenced area for one park, and there's an opening, and then a big ass another fenced area for another huger part of the park. Mm-hmm. This person was finishing walking their dog off leash. It was a white lady with a golden retriever. You could fucking see her plain as day. She's exiting the park, so I'm waiting. Because, I mean, even though they're really, really far, I'm like, fuck it. I'm going to take Kuma off leash, so I'm going to be responsible and wait for her to exit. She exits, I enter. Like, immediately. It's almost the same time. And I go across, I go around, I'm in the back there, and then I hear a truck rolling up on me. And it says animal control officer on the fucking thing. And I'm like, of course. First thing I do is I leash Kuma. You know, I'm like, come here. And he comes to me. I leash him up. And then the guy's like, you know, like, he's like, saw you have your dog off leash. I was like, yeah, man. You know, we're just out here in the middle of this, you know, the edge of this major park too. Just walking my dog out here off leash. There's no one around. He's like, yeah, well, you know, you can't have dogs off leash because, you know, they can be a danger at certain times and they don't listen. And, you know, I was like, dude, did you not miss this lady who just walked out, who just walked out of the park prior to me being here? White lady with a golden retriever. Oh yeah, I saw her, but I wasn't able to assess whether or not the dog was on the leash or not.
Wow.
But he was definitely able to assess.
He was able to. He's like, and it's not because he's a pit, and you know. I was like,
yes, it was.
Okay, buddy. Okay. And I was just telling. He was like, you know, you can't trust you know, dogs these days, and you know, it just takes one thing. Dogs, they're animals. And I said, so dogs can't be trained. He's like, no, they can't be. I was like, so police dogs can't be trained. He's like, no, those dogs don't listen either. I was like, okay, buddy. Okay, buddy. Yeah. You made your mind up. I get it. Like, you know,
and he wasn't able to let you off with a warning.
Nope, not even a fucking warning. Not even a warning.
What a dick. You know what I would have done?
Merry Christmas. Happy holidays.
I would have hopped on Kuma's back and rode off in the sunset like a horse. Just boom, boom.
I told him, I said, and then here lies the conundrum, because if you're saying I can't trust dogs, and I don't, that's why I don't bring him to a dog park, and I can't walk him off leash anywhere, where am I supposed to let my dog run?
Yeah.
I asked him. I was just like, you know what, dude? Like, you made your mind up. You didn't want to hear nothing I had to say, so.
If we can't trust it, then get him, Kuma, get him.
At that moment, see, it enrages me, because we put up with that casual shit all the fucking time.
Yeah.
And it gets so fucking, because then that makes me want to be violent.
Yeah.
That makes me want to, I wish that Kuma was a violent, I sick his ass, fucking attack the shit out of him while I'm fucking punching him in the face and the dog's chomping his fucking neck.
Yeah.
That's what I wanted to do, because I was like, you didn't have to do that because you're a fucking dick.
Yeah.
You had some preconceived notion of who I was when I walked up.
You can't back down now.
Yeah, you can't back down. You couldn't even let me off with a warning.
See, I'd be a terrible cop. I'd be dropping warnings everywhere. I'd be like,
exactly.
Just take it as a warning.
Come on, man.
Yeah.
Like, dude, go find some. It was just like, it
sucks, man.
It was infuriating. So,
Yeah.
once
I'd
again,
be pissed.
Put the gun up, Bloods.
Yeah.
Just give you warning.
Yeah, seriously, right?
So this, what is it? The maker of Marlboro cigarettes invests $2.4 billion in the marijuana industry.
Yeah, but we saw that coming, right?
They're smart.
Oh yeah, I mean, I would. I mean, I want to do that now. You know.
Yeah,
I mean, but I got to spend my $2.4 billion somewhere else.
Yes.
So.
You got other plans for it,
Yeah.
like Sex Island.
Ooh,
So I guess
not good.
Marlboro is a division of the Altria Group.
Yeah.
So the Altria Group basically just purchased a 45% stake in a Canadian medical marijuana provider called Kronos Group. Mm-hmm. And I guess it's saying one of the biggest, obviously Marlboro is one of the biggest tobacco companies in the world. And they just dropped like $2.4 billion.
I'm sure that's a drop in the
on the
bucket for
marijuana
them.
market.
So I mean, what kind of grade marijuana do you think they're actually going to have? Are you think they're going to have like the good stuff, or you think they're going to have like the cheap generic shit they'll just plow off?
They have
Why
enough
wouldn't
money
they have
to
the
buy
good stuff?
They have enough money to buy the good stuff.
Damn.
I think they'll be met with resistance because there's so many like homegrown dudes who have been doing it for a long time who are like,
That's a
dude, I've
deep
invested my
culture.
life in it. It is its own little deep culture. You're right.
You can't just have this fucking corporation come through and like snatch it all away from you.
Yeah, what we're saying here, I mean, obviously, like status quo and norms are changing,
Yeah.
you know, in society and culture,
Yeah.
and it's becoming more tolerable, you know, amongst human beings in general.
Yeah.
So it's kind of getting away, you know, those companies who stood on the moral high ground of, no, we're not going to deal with, you know,
they don't give a
marijuana.
shit. They just go where the fucking money is.
At this point, it's becoming like a multi-billion-dollar industry, and so you have to put your stake in that market.
Yeah,
you
for
know,
sure.
Dude, the crazy thing is that it said, it's saying that the spending on medical marijuana or recreational marijuana is expected to grow from 9.2 billion, which it was in 2017, to 47.3 billion by 2027. It'll be
in the wrong game.
And that's just here. That's just in the States. That's
Damn,
in the United States.
just in the States.
Just in the States.
We should get into the marijuana
47.3 billion.
What are we doing here?
I don't know.
I'm out of here, y'all. Bye, everyone. I'm wasting precious medical marijuana.
This is very interesting. I was thinking about this on the way here. Do you feel that the openness toward marijuana at this point has it been like a productive inclusion in everyday society?
I'd say more productive than it's been harmful, I'd say. You can't say that it's not going to have any pitfalls, because when you introduce drugs into a society and it's an open drug, you're going to have, things. You're going to have car accidents. You're going to have kids who are abusing it. That look to the fucking parents,
Well, I'll say is if they do pull it off, and which they, of course, they're going to, that's going to solidify it in the game of life, because like alcohol kills a ton of people. Yeah. So let's say people are fucking dying left and right, smoking marijuana. It's not going to go anywhere once Marlboro gets a hold of it.
Most black people in like the black community, they use it as this kind of recreational, let's get live, let's smoke weed and get crazy, rather than it being like anything
statementing, maybe.
Anything spiritual. I might be blanket statement, but let's think about it. You do edibles, right?
Yeah.
But I've never been around you and you've been reeking of weed or seemed dumb.
You know what? That's the general that's that general stereotype of what a stoner is too, though. But
you do know that
even the word stoner is like
that happens. That happens very frequently in like urban black community. Dudes who use it they walk around.
What's the crutch? The crutch
smelling,
for what, though?
Smelling of weed.
Aside from the smell,
not extremely intelligent. So I just think it's being used
the crutch,
differently.
What's the crutch from?
Well, the crutch is that it's not being used for anything. It's not spurring creativity. Let's say because you can obviously use it to spur creativity. You can use it for breakthroughs. You can use it for
enhancing things.
In any type of like religious, people use it as a religious
sacrament.
Yeah.
All me, I'm Rastafarian, so that's my sacrament. Don't take it from me, brother.
But it's not totally being used that way in the urban community. But it's usually used as just something to do.
That's the one thing, because you're demonized. It's being demonized just like alcohol. Like alcohol doesn't really have any kind of. There's almost like no. I don't know how to say it, but it's like the thing with weed is that like people don't like saying that they're high.
Yeah,
because they think that it's embarrassing, because but people don't give a shit when they're drunk.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So why would there be this same stigma when you're high?
It'll go away.
I have the same stigma with alcohol. Alcohol is worse to me, but I look at alcohol. I look at a drunk person along the same lines as a person who's extremely high obviously, you're not belligerent. Usually, you're much more prone to be belligerent. But I just want to, if it's going to be used...
If it's simply for escapism, you mean?
There we go.
Okay. There we go. Yeah, no, then that's unhealthy, right? That would be an unhealthy escape.
But is it so potent that you really, I don't know.
Steve, you tell us if it's potent.
I just... I don't know if it's as potent as, maybe alcohol might make you forget pretty much what's going on in your life and in your day.
Weed's potent enough. It is.
I don't know. But either way, so either way. So let's say there are people let's say that there are people who are going to use it as a crutch.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter if it's legal or illegal. They're going to use it as a crutch anyways, and they're people that are going to do what they do, and there's not going to be something that anyone can really say about it.
Well, largely the problem that I have is that if we're opening recreational marijuana usage up to children are being raised in a society where it's just free and open and in their backyard there's fucking fields of this shit, then you make it where they feel that that I have to do that because it's It's around. Everyone is doing it.
Yeah, but the alcohol's been around the same way, and it hasn't. I don't think visually it stimulates people to be I have to drink.
I think a little kid would be much more. There would be an easier way for them to get hooked on marijuana before they get hooked on alcohol, or because if marijuana is growing in their backyard, I mean, alcohol isn't just sitting in fucking bottles.
I'd have to say that like. I think weed is, I would say, less addictive than alcohol. I think it is, right?
Definitely. But I'm saying there's the access. That's what I'm trying to say.
Oh, the access.
The access to it is going to be much more, it's going to be much easier to have access to marijuana than it is for a child to have access to alcohol.
To play along with that, too, is like, if there's a head shop on every corner, it does increase the allure of smoking, right? I mean, like you see all these fucking neighborhoods where like say like North Hollywood, how many fucking LED green crosses do you see in front of stores? You know, so if they're everywhere, a kid might be inclined to.
Yeah, but also could we also say that since it's now legal and not a no-no, and like you got someone's grandma all high,
it's not taboo anymore.
Yes,
but that's to a certain type of person with that level of thought. The average hood dude still sees it as.
But the thing is, though, is that anyone that has that sort of mentality, they have it anyways, whether it be towards that or something else. It's the way they perceive.
That or liquor.
And I say hood, though, because you are right. I'm making these blanket statements, and it can lead it to sound like I'm demonizing black people utilizing marijuana. I'm saying that the average hood cat is utilizing marijuana even differently than a Rastafarian dude.
My ideal is that people hold a respect for any drug. To be honest, like it doesn't have to be reverence, but have respect for it at least. You know, like it doesn't have to be enlightenment. Sometimes, just like with alcohol, you imbibe alcohol just to get loose. Like you want to facilitate conversation. You want things to be less anxiety, stuff like that.
That's cool. I just don't want all black kids to feel like that has to be commonplace.
Well, there needs to be education. There needs to be education.
Yeah,
right?
the thing is this: whenever there's something that becomes a cultural norm and it's shifting the perception of like what is or isn't, it's going to be a natural filter to it, which no one can do anything about. It's going to filter the minds, right? So the minds are going to go one way or another. And they're going to do what they want to do for a certain point in time, whether they like it, rather, if we like it or not, it's going to happen. So it's really up to that individual soul if they're going to stay in that state of mind or if they're not.
Or any other drug, right?
So yeah, I mean, it's going to happen. If anything, let's say that this is a big experiment, right? And let's say that this big experiment is going to be, there's going to be casualties of this experiment, but then it will level off on the charts, right? And and then you'll see where kind of things are at. And they've done that, right? They've done that like in Amsterdam. They've done a lot of things to where like the studies and statistics, crime level has dropped. Actually the users for harder drugs probably, and I'm guessing on this one, might have dropped. I mean, I don't know. I'd have to look into it, but
I've heard a lot of stories on that of people who've been getting off of really hard drugs and substituting marijuana for that. And I think I saw there on one show on Vice, Weedakit, where this guy was talking to, he was interviewing, the host was interviewing this guy who was cultivating these crops. And the guy's like, he's like, would you rather weed be legal or do you want me crawling through your window to put a bullet in your head? And he was like, I was like, that's an interesting way. So like,
well, that's an
I'm trying to find out how the two.
Right,
I'm like, how do they?
Yeah, it's like it's totally an extreme, but like,
but I mean, I think it's for the best, though.
I just had an idea where I was thinking about where he was speaking about people speaking about escapism, and I'm now wondering if maybe it's used in the way that it's used in urban areas because that would be like the highest concentration of people trying to escape because they can't physically escape, so they're trying to find any way of escaping.
Why do you think there's so many liquor stores in the fucking hood? They just want to keep those people placid and fucked up, and
I mean, because I still have very strong biases toward marijuana for whatever reason.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been
because you uptight.
Well, I've never been a person who's necessarily condemned anyone for using it.
Yeah.
But if somebody crosses my path and they reek of marijuana, I still have these pre-installed ideas of what that person is about.
Right.
Before even speaking to that person.
Right.
Fucking weed head.
P.S. That's another advantage of fucking edibles is you don't have to reek of marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so it's a crazy thing. I mean, we'll see what happens, and hopefully the world will be a better place because of
bad
it.
things are going to happen, good things are going to happen.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, there's either way, either way. So, but we'll see what happens. But it is something it's a big topic and something we can totally break it down to a lot of different things.
I wonder if Marlboro will ever, at least in the United States, start selling marijuana cigarettes.
Yeah.
On the open consumer.
But I also think that they're going to use chemicals to enhance those sort of things artificially. So that's the only thing.
They can't keep their stupid fucking hands out of the chemical
drawer. You think they'll put something in it to make it even more
potent.
addictive?
Unless it's better, like a little bit of nicotine in there.
Well, and that is a thing where you mix tobacco with weed, and that's supposedly a different high. Yeah.
That's a different.
Yeah.
I wouldn't know.
PJ lit up like, maybe I need to check that out.
Yeah, it's
nicotine is tough.
It's called a blunt. When you roll a weed cigarette with a tobacco
they
wrapper.
usually get everything out. Well, you're right. They have the little bit because you have the tobacco.
No, the tobacco leaf is the wrapper. Yeah. Dutch Masters.
Yeah.
Because what did they gut out of it though? Is that ground tobacco?
It's like ground up tobacco, loose leaf ground tobacco.
So next topic is.
We're moving on to world news. Someone make the sound effect. All right. This one's really fucking cool because if we are taking into consideration the Above Majestic film, it kind of ties into this.
Oh yeah, it's kind of crazy.
China sending a rover to the far side of the moon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're sending a rover to the far side of the moon, right? So.
Which is essentially the dark side of the moon. Right?
Yes. What they said, the dark side of the moon. But the thing, but the thing is this: it's a misconception that there's a dark side of the moon, right? Because
Tell us about it.
Rotates.
Yeah.
What?
Right. So it rotates just like us. So it has the same sort of cycle of lighting as we do. So
not the same, but it
not
rotates,
the same, but
it doesn't rotate the same. But yeah, I get you.
So the Chang 4 is a spacecraft, which is gonna.
Racist, dude. You know that's not the name of the spacecraft.
Chang 4.
I could have came up with
It
that.
is called.
So this so it's a spacecraft, and it's when it launches, it's gonna launch a lander and a rover to the other side of the moon.
It's gonna be like exactly what we launched, basically.
Right. So basically,
what happens when the side that they're on, that's the dark side of the moon, then becomes the light side of the moon?
I don't know. I don't know.
Do they just send everything over to the dark side?
It's outrunning the shadow, right? So
I just pictured Riddick for some reason.
so basically, on the far side, they believe that it's more rugged and densely cratered than the side that we actually see because they don't actually know why. But my guess would be, as a professional, is that that maybe it's getting hit more because it's kind of that side is getting hit more by maybe like foreign objects, asteroids, whatever. So the far side is more rugged, and then basically what they're hoping to do is they're hoping to land in the South Pole, which is the Atkin Basin, for more lunar geology. So they believe that the oldest crater is on that side, and they believe that it's deep enough to where they can start to collect mantles of the moon to kind of get a structure of it. Okay. So, but the main thing is this: is if they're able to do that, NASA believes that they'll be able to do it within 6 to 8 years. So it's not like happening right away.
Okay.
So, and the other part of it, like the geopolitical part of it, is that they hope to establish themselves as a global superpower. I mean, they're a superpower, but this will kind of solidify it. The other thing that they really want to do is kind of get a military thing going up in space, and which.
What do you mean by a military presence? That
like a military presence in space.
Polices are
because I mean I feel like
universe or
because kind of like we're doing it too, right?
Our immediate solar system, or is that what?
Yeah, I mean, so it's going to be just war, if we ever have anything, So basically, they're actually saying that the technology is rival or equal to like the United States technology.
They got the money, of course. They should by this point. Jesus.
Yeah. So that's kind of basically it. So what they'll do is they'll get the rover over there. They'll launch the rover and they'll just start collecting samples. So I thought that it's cool, and if we're going with above majestic, we're kind of they're saying this is where space bases are, where the bases are.
This is what I was thinking. If that was true,
yeah,
then something will mysteriously happen to where they can't launch.
Yeah, right.
Watch next week when we prove it right. when is the anticipated launch?
They haven't said just yet. It's just it's in the plans.
Already.
Here we go.
It's in the plans, but that's when the former NASA administrator said that though if they're serious about it, they could probably get there in 6 to 8 years because they have the technology and the money to do it.
Jesus. Think about how behind they've been then if we did it in the 60s.
How long does it take to get to the moon?
I don't know.
I actually don't know, actually.
I just know how long it takes for the sun's light to reach Earth.
Useless.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, man. I can't wait till the actual... if we're still doing the podcast 12 years from now.
Yeah. We'll do an update.
Still here. This is episode 8,200. Anyways, next one. This one is hilarious. Bodies of Icelandic climbers found 30 years later.
A little too late, folks.
Just reminds me of the Simpsons episode.
Yeah,
where Homer made it to the top of that mountain and he couldn't get down.
He found
the corpse and he crafted him into a fucking sled and took him down.
He rolled his fucking legs up
He's like, where'd you find this sled?
Yeah. So I guess the family's been leaving messages on their answer machine, and they decided to follow up with it 30 years later.
Yeah.
No. So basically, when it comes to like these sort of these things when people are going up mountains, such as like
whatever mountain,
like the
Kilimanjaro,
Kilimanjaro, like Himalayan mountains or anything like that. Okay. A lot of people come up missing.
This isn't a skeleton that you sent us with the boots, right? In Paris or something like that?
No. No. These so basically, like in the Himalayan mountains and things like that, basically people will just disappear. But when I did because I went to go look further, like how many people are disappearing in the Himalayan mountains? They said only a total of 900 people have actually died. So, which is nothing compared to like.
That's cool. Only 900. That's cool.
Well, there's other mountains where people are disappearing like. I don't know. There's a couple people like 2 a year or something like that, if I remember correctly reading something. But in the Himalayan mountains,
a lot of people die at Magic Mountain.
It's true. Probably more people than die in the other mountains.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah,
so many mechanical failures. When will they get it together?
So basically, what happened is they set out in 1988, right? So they were
just got around to finding them.
Yeah. I wish I'd probably take a look for these guys.
Wow, that's so fucked up.
Yeah, they vanished.
When no one cares about you that you've been gone for so long.
Could you imagine that? That was the last little hope too. One of them was like, "Someone's gonna find us." I tell you, someone's gonna find us. I believe in us. I believe.
He ate his friend, right? So like, only the bottom half of his friend is all gone, man.
It's like fucking Jack Torrance in the maze and shit. Like,
frozen with his fucking mouth open. Yes.
So basically, an American climber found them November.
I've heard of expeditions running into previous expeditions that froze to death somewhere.
Right. Well, there's landmarkers, right, of people.
I just went free shit.
Yeah. So there's landmarkers in other mountains, right?
Yeah.
Where they're like, they're
base camps.
Yeah. There's bodies.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. There's landmarkers of bodies. There's like bodies that have been frozen there, and they're well preserved because of the because of the environment.
Yeah.
So basically,
because of the temperature too. You're right.
Yeah. So basically, these two gentlemen were discovered at the bottom of a glacier, and the bodies were taken to Kathmandu in Nepal to be cremated.
Yeah, of course.
Damn, homie.
Those fucking Sherpas, man. Those dudes live a rugged life. Just something about them. They're like humans who used to be mountain goats, and somehow they just live their lives going on paid expedition by rich white people to like take them up to certain base camps and follow them up.
Right.
And they die like often.
Yeah, a lot.
They got them.
Yeah.
They're like they're like the concierges of the mountain. Like they have to take your fucking luggage too, and help those climbers.
Man,
they end up dying crazy.
I feel so uncomfortable
but they get
with
paid.
that
They
shit.
get paid a lot.
We only have 9 minutes.
Oh, yo, okay. So
we
let's,
have to
no.
flip it through. Let me go through. Did either of you two hear about the Kevin Hart Oscar situation?
Yeah.
Wait. No, let's go through it. Or no, you don't. You want to? Can we blast through them then?
We can blast through them. I can start with that though.
Okay. Oh, that you went way down to entertainment.
Okay.
One-liners.
Go ahead.
Okay, so Kevin Hart was supposed to host the Oscars this year, and he recently bowed out because the Oscars asked him to submit apologies for 9-year-old anti-gay tweets that he
was like, no.
had still on his Twitter.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just going to bow out.
Yeah,
right?
he basically said...
I appreciate that from him.
Yeah,
that's lame, dude.
He basically said, he was like, look, well, I guess they were tweets that he had already... he'd already owned up to, and he already submitted a apology-esque type thing.
That's messed up, dude.
And so he was like, look, I've already done this. He's like, I've done this years back.
Yeah, like, either you want me or you don't.
Do it again.
You know, so yeah, he basically spoke to whoever the presiding board is over the Oscars, and he said, look, if you want me, I'm here. But if we're going to use 9-year-old tweets to try to somehow, make it seem as if I'm anti-gay, and that's the reasoning behind, you not moving forward with me as the host, fine. I'm not going to apologize because I've already apologized.
Right. Now we're going to have Neil Patrick Harris again.
And the thing that sucks about that is that not only was he supposed to do the Oscars, but he was supposed to also do this year's upcoming Academy Awards. The Academy Awards board also demanded an apology from him for the same tweets, or they were going to move forward without him as the host. So he decided, fine. So he lost too.
It's the climate now. Everyone's fucking offended by everything.
Yeah.
Now you can tell me whether you believe this tweet to be anti-gay. It says, "Yo, if my son comes home and tries to play with my daughter's dollhouse, I'm going to break it over his head and say." I'm going to break it over his head and say in my voice, "Stop. That's gay."
That's a comedian wrote that. And the fact that we're laughing tells you the job of the comedian is to make you laugh. And he made you laugh. It's by any means necessary.
He made us laugh.
He made us laugh.
That's
That's fucking funny. Yes, okay, if you want to be all outraged about it and think that he really meant that, you really think that Kevin Hart, if his son was showed gay tendencies,
I think he meant that.
You think he would smash it over?
I don't think that.
So.
We got 5 minutes.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
I think he meant that, but
most of the parts of it.
There's a part of me that's like, so what?
The part is the outrageousness of it, right? That's where I like comedy in the outrageousness of it. Because it makes me laugh because I'm like, it's absurd that you would say that or take it there. And I know you don't mean it that way because your job is not a politician. You're a comedian. Yeah. You're supposed to take it to these dark places to make people laugh.
Comedians are walking a fine line right now, and it sucks.
God, yeah. I'm going to get in trouble for this. I know. All right.
He's going to jail.
I'm going to get in trouble for this. But why is he not allowed to say, I don't want my son to be gay?
I don't know.
You can't say it in this. You can't say it on a world forum now.
He didn't say if my son grew up and happened to have a sexual orientation that diverted from being heterosexual and he ended up being gay, that I would not love him. Mm-hmm. He just said but it wouldn't be my preference.
But he also didn't say that though. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, they're
filling in their own blanks.
Yeah, exactly.
They're gonna all possibilities.
Exactly.
Yeah. I mean,
whatever.
I mean.
He didn't deserve it. He deserves.
I mean, it wasn't. It's not his preference for his child. I think a lot of people have preferences, the things that they would rather their child not be.
Sexual orientation is last on my list, but I mean, it is what it is.
Well,
it is what it is.
And we spoke last week.
Either way, he's a comedian.
We spoke last week about growing up in certain areas and how those areas impart their ideals on you without you even understand. If he grew up, in an environment
as most people in those environments.
If he grew up in an environment that kind of sees
very machismo,
gay as a deficiency,
a lot of bravado walking around.
He's obviously gonna say, "Well, I wouldn't want my child to be categorized as such."
Right.
But as I said, for the most part, PJ kind of put he nailed it on the head. Is that he's a comedian. So a lot of it, I feel like it's truth intermixed with jest.
Yeah, exactly. Which his own truth intermixed with comedy.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, that sucks. That sucks for him. This one was hilarious. Goodyear tires plant in Venezuela is being closed. Severance payment to workers is 10 tires.
There you go. Don't spend them all in one place.
I just I made the headline a little funnier because it was included in whatever severance payment it was, which I'm sure was fucking pennies. This is Venezuela. Right. Why else would they be manufacturing them in Venezuela?
Right.
But the funny part is they just gave them 10 tires, which is... Okay, a car has how many fucking wheels? You can't make it divisible by 4. You got to give them 10 tires. That means one of them,
two extra.
Here you go. For when the next one you change, you still got to buy 2 more tires. We're not going to leave you hanging. You got to buy 2 more Goodyear tires.
He has one of those fucking like Cadillac tires on the back. So
that's true. True. Hopefully you're keeping 2 up on top, fucking Jeep style. Okay. Anyways, and then
fucking gun threat called into surviving R. Kelly private screening. So
I'm tired of talking about R. Kelly. You've had like 8 topics now about R. Kelly.
So
let that fool die.
No, fuck it. So anyway, there's a docu-series that's supposed to be screening on Lifetime, and there was a private screening of that. It included a Q&A that was going to happen after the private screening that had some actual people some women, young women who were involved with R. Kelly in his harem of sorts. And
yuck.
There was an anonymous gun threat called into the private screening, which meant that they had to evacuate everyone from the building.
That sucks. I heard all the VIP pass people, they got to get a cup of his own piss.
They got pissed on.
The end. They got a keychain with a keychain of piss.
Yeah, it's like a little finisher for them.
As soon as they ran out of the private studio and shit.
Take a crap bath.
They just got fucking showered with pee.
Yeah. There you go. Good for them.
You know what I thought was extremely interesting is that if you're totally innocent, this is a terrible way to cement that. Is that there's a random gun threat called into? Wouldn't you just be like, well, I don't have anything to worry about because I'm innocent?
I mean, because the documentary probably doesn't document enough. It doesn't document the humiliation part.
His own manager called it in.
Yeah.
So somebody called it in. Somebody called it in that knew him. But I mean, it would be the last thing I would want attributed to me if I was innocent and didn't have anything to worry about.
It doesn't matter, though. It doesn't matter if he was innocent or not. Well, for one, we saw him pissing on an underage girl.
No. He's obviously not innocent.
He's not innocent.
But I'm saying that this situation doesn't, like, put him in the
I'm sorry. If you're going to a fucking R. Kelly documentary, you're fucking He guy's like 65 years old. He's not relevant anymore.
I'd go. I'd like to see some chicks getting pissed on.
I just want to see that part of the fucking documentary.
that happens in the credits. Right, you're like, all right, I'm done.
Thank you. 16-year-old virgin wins a ticket to the infamous sex island.
Yeah, this shit's crazy, man. Yeah, I don't know about this. So basically what happened...
Did you go to the website?
Yeah, I went to the website, and it looks horrible and disgusting. I would never go there, guys.
Sex Island is a real place?
It's a real thing. So basically what it is there's an island, somewhere South America, right? Somewhere. So anyways, there's
couldn't find it on any Google Maps. It wouldn't come up.
So basically, it's a private island, and what they do is they invite 30 men out that pay $4,500 to $5,000, all alcohol included, drug friendly, food included, and each man. So there's 60 women going, and there's 30 men. So 2 women to each guy.
What's the quality of food like there? Jesus Christ.
And so
all pussy.
So So basically, you go there and then they just, what they're having to fulfill your fantasies, and then it's
you get 2 girls.
Beautiful Colombian women are all over you, and
it's all Latin women.
It's all Latin women, yeah. So and the crazy thing is, like in the video, it looks like a goddamn I don't know, hip hop video, man. It is crazy. They're on a yacht.
Are they dope? Just went.
I mean, they ain't looking bad, Trey.
Okay, they tight.
The funny thing is you can have unlimited sex, and you can also swap girls.
You can swap girls.
So nasty.
Yeah,
pulling jizz
rowdy seconds.
Oh man, yeah. So
you don't want to kiss that girl. That's for damn sure.
So I wonder if they have events like Chlamydia Tuesday.
So the 16-year-old. So how this kid gets implemented into this whole situation is he saw this, right, and if you buy some merchandise, you get entered into a raffle, and then you win a trip, right?
What merchandise?
So he bought a backpack and a fucking mug, right?
A sex island backpack?
I don't think he's even of age to participate.
So check this out. So he used his dad's credit card to buy the merchandise without his knowledge. He received an email like a week later saying that he won.
Sorry, real quick. A sex island backpack and a sex island mug?
Yeah.
Right.
What the, like, really?
Right.
Where would he even wear that backpack?
But he I believe he bought it just to see if he
Catholic
could
school?
be put into the raffle, right?
Yeah.
So basically comes back, he wins, and he's like, oh shit, right?
That's
so
hilarious.
he has to tell his parents about it.
Dad, I have to go.
So his parents were pissed, right? But then
I was like, I'm sorry, son. As a lesson to you, I'm gonna have to take this trip.
so basically his dad went to the website and watched the video and said, yes, son, you can go.
That's what I'm saying.
Sign the permission. So sign the permission slip. This kid's from New York, right?
16? I don't know, man.
Sign the permission slip. Obviously, the mother's still pissed off about it, right?
Of course.
So this kid, he's a 16-year-old virgin. He's about to go to an island full of a bunch of big booty, big titty Latinas that all they're there to do is please you, supposedly.
What better initiation into manhood?
Those women are about to experience the most pathetic sex.
Yeah,
of his
exactly.
fucking
Shit.
life.
Whatever it's like, I got mine.
Yo, but you know, but but it did get brought up though,
better
right?
Go to
Like,
Lex to get yours. You know Lexington hanging around out there.
Yeah, it's true.
But you know, there's a good point. Are these women there on their own, or are they sex slaves? Like,
They're
what's
getting
what's
pimped? They're definitely
They're
getting
sex
pimped by
slaves,
somebody.
yeah.
right? So it's
They're
like
getting pimped by
how
someone.
it's kind of crazy. But anyways, yeah, that's kind of that crazy shit, man.
That's a real thing.
It's a real thing. I thought it was a joke until they had it on Dr. Oz, right? I fixed someone, and they were not Dr. Oz. I'm sorry,
Steve, you've done a lot of research for this.
No, I thought it was bullshit. I was like, this is a fucking lie.
It looks fake as shit.
It looks super fake. Yeah. Like it's gonna be like that. Have you seen that one island party thing that these guys said there was exclusive island, right?
Oh yeah, I saw that.
And then people showed up. They were supposed to be like, what are
They're
those?
supposed to be like
yurts or what's a
They were
yurt?
supposed to have bathrooms and
You're talking about
refreshments.
Firefest. Firefest. It was
Ja Rule, right?
Ja Rule and some other partners.
And then
They had no sanitation,
They didn't
no
have
food,
shit.
no
They had
water.
nothing.
it
The
was a
dudes
fucking tent.
they stacked cash and bounce, right? But I don't know. They caught up with them, right? Like the law or something.
Oh, that dude went to jail. He went to jail
Right.
for a long time.
So I thought it was another one of these situations, and we'll see what happens, I guess, you know, but that's
Good-
crazy.
Good luck to that kid.
Hey, yeah, good luck.
You know how much publicity that received through the media? They're going to have an influx of guys at that motherfucker. Just
Dude.
random old grimy ass.
That's what I'm saying.
The
Some
only-
nasty ass dude.
And you said, how much is it for?
It's only
It's
$4,500.
only $4,500.
Oh, dude. It's
And how long is it for?
why don't you
3
pension-
days or 4 nights, or 4
3
days,
days,
and 4 nights.
unlimited,
Yeah.
so many pension checks.
Having
about
sex
to
at
pop
least
up there,
3
dude.
times.
Dude, people are going to go broke.
The only whack part is you have to wear condoms. All right, next topic.
No, that's probably the best fucking part.
Yeah, yeah.
You fucking pussy.
Nah, them women gotta go home, dude.
Oh, man,
Start
you got to
fucking
go home
other
too,
dudes.
man.
But I gotta feel something.
But we're at the mark.
We are at the mark. Hey, can we?
Go ahead.
See
No,
anybody
go,
outside?
go.
Let's run it. Roger, the buff kangaroo and online star, dead.
Damn, that's crazy.
R.I.P. You remember the buff?
Dude,
The
buff
one
kangaroo?
who beat the shit out of? Oh, that.
No,
oh,
just
I
the
thought that's
buff
the one
kangaroo.
who the
Nah.
dude beat the shit out of.
No.
When it was choking his dog out.
When that fucking kangaroo took the L.
Yeah. No, you know what? It's funny. He died shortly after he lost his rank as an alpha male, right? His son took it over. His son whooped his ass.
It's true.
And that was that. And
He
then he
died.
passed. He was, what, 12 years old?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Why haven't I heard? This kangaroo is that popular?
Dude, you see this?
I
He's
pull up my
ripped.
sleeve. He's got a fucking sweet tat of it.
No, I'm like, you two know a lot about. I've never heard of this.
Well, I
buff
follow the kangaroo sanctuary. Well, you know what made me follow it was when I saw a picture of Roger freaking flexing, dude,
Yeah.
like goddamn yoked ass dude.
Yeah, with the kangaroo head.
Yeah, with a kangaroo head.
Roger.
Yeah, so he's dead, man. R.I.P. Let's go slow clap for Roger. please.
Yeah,
We have a heart attack.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not
man.
sure.
I don't know how kangaroos die. I'm guessing heart attack. Hit by a car. Hit by
Nikki Ryan submits Minari. That's crazy.
Oh, that was some MMA shit. That's another. It's just a young cat, young phenom destroying an old man.
17, right?
You know, if I wouldn't. It doesn't surprise me. I get my ass kicked by 18-year-old like every other day at jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
It's just how it is.
Should we do
crazy
finally Bless versus TC?
Yeah, let's proceed. Let's wrap up on that. Even though Steve doesn't know who Brian Ortega is. It's all good. It's all good.
I know he's the dude with the braids, right? The rose.
Yep.
Yeah. How'd you feel about it, P?
So MMA fight, Max Holloway versus T City Brian
Retains
Ortega.
his title.
Retained his title for the featherweight championship.
This
In
is
a
his second
classic,
defense?
in a fucking classic, yeah. And also, I think he's up there with the
Most consecutive
streak.
victories.
Yeah. I think Anderson Silva's like the king right now. But
Oh, no, I'm sorry. It's most wins in UFC history.
yeah.
He's at
like
13, I want to say.
and I think Anderson Silva's at 16 or something
Yeah.
like that. But anyways, just a fucking clinic, man. Max Holloway had such crisp boxing, such good counter. I mean, he ate some too for sure. But man, he was in there and his confidence was just gaining. He was tagging T City up. Brian Ortega showed more heart than anyone I've ever seen in my life.
He even did the fake wobble like Anderson Silva did.
He did, baby. He didn't pay for it though.
Yeah, he did the fake wobble like, oh, he got me. And then he got tagged right after.
And then he was doing the real wobble.
Dude, he was stringing together like 6-7 punch combinations.
Holy shit.
Like ridiculous. And he landed more shots, 300, just over 300.
I saw
Just
that.
over 300.
Yeah.
It was well, initially they said 236 significant shots, but I believe that was raised to
I sent it to you guys.
400.
I saw that, yeah.
It was like 400 over the course of five
So he
five
got
rounds.
hit
Imagine-
400
And he was hit
times.
100 plus
God,
significant shots to the face or something just in the fifth round.
Damn. You know, like, that's like having some dude take a full mount and just breaking off
rain,
100
dude.
shots on your fucking your head.
And you don't give up. That's
Well,
the crazy
here's
part.
what Brian Ortega is special is that he showed zero signs of slowing. He was like, I'm just gonna take this
Until he starts talking now.
No way, dude. They had to stop it.
They had to stop it for his own good.
Yeah,
His,
yeah.
his left eye was closed and his
eye
nose was broken.
His eye was insane, bro.
Yeah.
That
You know
shit's
what I
crazy.
thought was really dope is that in the fifth round, Holloway was conserving energy by hitting him with those like Nick Diaz punches,
Yeah.
where
Jabs.
they don't have any steam on them.
No.
He just want to keeps your equilibrium kind of off,
Yeah.
so you can't get your bearing. So he was just hitting him with these little pity pat punches, and then as soon as he put a little steam on one. And he would see Ortega kind of react to it, and then he put a couple of more together that had some steam on them.
Damn.
And then once Ortega would recover, then he would just kind of
Ease
more
back
pity pat
again.
punch, more pity pat punch.
Conserving
He was
that
conserving
energy.
all his energy.
That volume was
so intelligent,
incredible,
extremely intelligent.
It was a very good fight, and I mean, to Brian Ortega's credit, like
He can take
hung
it.
in there. He could
He
take
can
a
take it,
motherfucking
Damn.
punch. That's for sure.
Fucking a lot
But
of
I
shots.
think we were speaking before we started the podcast about how mystified people are by the idea of taking unanswered punches.
Yeah.
You know, it's deemed hard.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, we all know it translates into CTE nowadays. So
Exactly.
Like, I hope that's not the case, but you definitely you don't want to fight that kind of fight anymore.
And Ortega is a really young prospect who
Very
has
young.
a lot of time ahead of him.
Of course.
It probably wasn't beneficial for him to go through this type of war on the like front end of his career. you
Right.
know?
Yeah. That's crazy, man.
Yeah,
I wish I would have seen it.
It was a classic, I'd say. I loved
Oh,
it. It was great.
It was definitely a classic. I
It
mean,
was
because
because he was the underdog too.
was it the second?
Holloway was the underdog.
The second
they thought
round.
T-City was going to come in and steamroll him.
The second round, fucking Ortega started to mount so
think it
much
was-
offense that I thought
I
it
think it
might
was the
swing
third
the
round.
other way.
I thought it was like around the third,
Okay,
yeah.
the third round. I was like, I don't know. I don't know if Holloway is going to get out of this. But it seemed like he always had his bearing.
He did.
He
He
was
did.
just kind of like, okay, let me weather this storm.
Yeah.
Then I'm fucking put this heat on him as soon as I weather the storm.
Yeah, man.
He's an extremely smart, evolved fighter. And there was someone on Twitter, that, you know how on MMA fighting, directly after the fight, they'll have fighter reactions.
Yeah,
so it'll
yeah,
be Twitter
yeah.
reactions. And there was someone who was saying, like Anderson Silva in his prime. And initially I was like, get the fuck out of here. And then I started thinking about it and seeing the correlations of
I get it.
a high-level striker at their apex, at their absolute prime,
Right.
Yeah.
and the level of
It was pretty
the
bad.
level
It was
of
amazing.
technicality and almost arrogance for being, why would you even try to be in this situation with me? You know I'm head and shoulders better than you. And that's the type of energy that somebody like Holloway is putting out at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Literally, he's entering the cage as if, why would you even stand opposite of me? You know how this is going to end.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when guys seem to do their best, fighting, is when they had that type of steam,
Yeah.
coming out.
Yeah.
It was a slobber knocker, barn burner, love maker. All right, y'all. You guys wanna head out? It's already 10:20.
I guess.
I guess we gotta go.
Yeah.
All right, y'all. You got any parting words, Steve Zulu?
Now stay safe out there. That's it.
Stay safe on those streets, y'all.
So
Keep your dogs on a leash, motherfuckers.
Twitter,
Find us on
Mystery
SoundCloud.
Children,
YouTube.
YouTube, Instagram,
SoundCloud, Instagram, Podbean. We don't give Podbean enough credit. That's where we started off. Sorry,
is
Podbean.
hosting us, but whatever. I mean, it's
So
got
fucked up.
whoever designed the Podbean platform designed the Amazon Prime platform.
Trash.
Trash Shola. Anyways, also to email us at the Mystery Children Podcast at gmail.com if you want.
All right, y'all. Number 20.
Number 20.
My peace.
Peace.